Well, g'day curd nerds. Today we're doing a taste test for the most anticipated cheese on the channel, Red Windsor. So Red Windsor is a cheese made in the UK. I didn't have a recipe for it. I made it up as I went along, as you do with these cheeses. I used a farmhouse cheddar recipe where I then soaked the curds in port or port wine, and it has given this beautiful maroon, deep red colour. So without further ado, this was ready to taste on the 3rd of August. It's now the 17th of August, so only a week or so after. Normally farmhouse cheddars mature for about 3 months. You can go a lot further, obviously, but that's the minimum. I didn't want the cheese to become too acidified, so I thought, well, we'll try it at this younger age, and I can always vac pack the other half and a quarter, depending on how lovely it tastes. I can always vac pack those and mature them further in the cheese cave, which I'm going to do anyway. Right, so let's cut open the bag. I've got my trusty left-handed scissors because I'm a lefty. Open that up. Right, now there's no moisture whatsoever in the bag, so that is pretty good. The surface is fairly dry, or you get this overpowering smell of port. It's solid, it's in one chunk, and it's fairly heavy too. Let me just check on the trusty scale how much it actually weighs now. So you won't be able to see this, but I will pop it on the scale. We'll see how much it weighs. Firstly, we'll do the bag. Tear that off. So it's 1.046 kilograms. So that's a good weight. Alright, so that's a good weight for this cheese. And what we'll do, because it's really firm, I didn't really want to cut into it with the knife just in case some of the little pieces come off. So I'm going to use my cheese wire. And we're going to cut it that way. Let me make sure I get in the middle. Here's the big reveal. Well, that's cutting really well. Well, a little bit did come off at the end. That's okay. So let's have a look. Oh, look at that. That is spectacular. Ladies and gentlemen, curd nerds and curd nerdettes, that is going straight to the pool room, as they say here in Australia. That is beautiful. Oh, that texture. Look at that. So that pattern is just amazing. A little bit came off, but that's fine. But if I had to use the knife, I was probably afraid that it was going to come off a little bit more than that, but that's okay. So the ultimate test is pop it onto the board. Get that out of the way. I am super impressed with this cheese. Visually, that just looks amazing. I'm so proud of myself. That's really good. Yeah, no, that's up there visually with the cheeses of the world. So we've got our Red Windsor cut. Let's just cut it with the knife and see if I can, because not everybody's got a cheese cutter. Not too bad. A little bit loose at the bottom. come apart a little bit. When I did that with a knife, it started to crack. This is, yeah, so it come apart a little bit. So let's just do another bit with the wire. So, because it was so crumbly when I put it into the press, I don't want to waste any. Put that over here. Let's just cut a bit more with the wire. Now, bench top's nice and clean, so there's no hassle with that. Let's just... Now, it's a very firm cheese. Rightio. Make a nice slice there. Lovely. It's firmer near the rind, a bit more crumbly in the middle. But yeah, visually that's lovely. All right, let's taste it, shall we? So let's taste it, shall we? All right. Now, as for bendiness, yes, it just breaks because the way the port was infused on top of all the curds. Maybe what I would probably do, if you're making this yourself, then I would probably not soak the curds as much as I did. Probably go a little bit less. You'll get the same marbling pattern and the like because it did soak in. But yeah, it's really, it just snaps apart as into the actual individual curds. So let's taste it and find out whether this is any good or not. All the cheesy bits kind of explode in your mouth, as in when you're chewing, they all break apart, but they're all like individual little cheeses. The port flavour is definitely there. Very subtle, but the cheesy flavour's there as well, so it's kind of like half and half. Yeah, I think I would soak the curds a lot less and keep them warmer. Especially during pressing. I may, yeah, it's very hard with the lever press that I've got up there. Very hard to press the basket underway to get them to close up. So look, it definitely closed up, but when you bite into it, the individual bits of cheese do tumble around in your mouth and you've got to catch them. Nice cheese though. That is good. Now I would probably vacuum pack, yeah, at least half because I don't want it to crumble too much more. It's very dry. There's not a lot of moisture in this cheese. It's very dry. And as you can see, like I said, it falls apart when you break it. It stays firm in situ like it is now, but you push a knife through that and now I can see that's going to crumble off. But it doesn't taste acidic, which is great. It tastes cheesy, very similar to a cheddar. And the colour is amazing. Now, would I serve this up on a platter? Yeah, maybe not. Too crumbly. As an experimental cheese, then, like I said, I would... the curd side needs to be bigger, so it needs to get together better. I'd probably use a proper cheddar recipe next time, not a farmhouse cheddar one. Although this looks amazing, the flavour's good, which is good. The texture is letting it down. Yeah, less soaking in the port, less time. I think I did it for 2 hours, so I would do it for an hour less, maybe only just an hour to get the colour on it. And maybe use the traditional cheddar recipe, whereby instead of having the curds in fingers like you do with normal cheddar, cut those curds up a bit smaller, so like 1/2 inch cubes or 1.25 centimetre, yeah, 1.25 centimetre cubes, and then soak those in the port, you'll find they probably knit together a lot better, because these tiny little bits of curd didn't knit together as well as I wanted them to. So that's a little bit disappointing. However, the flavour is great. I would probably put a bit more salt in. The salt, there's enough salt in there to prevent bitterness. It's not bitter at all. But I would put a bit more salt because I like a little bit more salt in my cheese. This is just on the low side. Just on the low side of the right scale, if that makes sense. But yeah, other than that, the flavour of the cheese is great. The visual appearance. What it should be like is, if we can get that proper on camera, the curd size should be, as big as that cube there. And that should be all the way throughout instead of these tiny little bits of curd. So next time I make this, which I'll make this again, I will aim for curd sizes about that big. And they will knit together a lot better, develop a better flavour for the cheese as well. And we won't have too many more issues with the cheese crumbliness. But if you've tried it, then just try and modify it slightly. Like I said, use a traditional cheddar recipe. Cut it into fingers, but then cut it into 1/2-inch cubes, and you'll find that this will knit together a lot better. You'll get a bigger structure inside, and it won't be as crumbly. As in, not crumbly, but fall apart. So it's not acidic, which you would get with many crumblier cheeses, but it falls apart along the curd lines. So that's what it does, unfortunately. So not totally disappointed, but it's not perfect. So, yeah, look, I wasn't surprised because when I was pressing it, little bits of curd did come off when I took it out of the mould. So I was kind of a bit worried then, but I didn't know until it was mature. So, Red Windsor, partial success, tastes fantastic, lovely taste of port, needs a little bit more salt. Also, but the curd side needs to be a bit bigger because when you press it, it definitely needs to stick together and hold together more and not be interfered with that coating of port around the curd. So, there you go, curd nerds. You win some, you lose some. Like I said, this one's not a total loss, and there are ways to fix it for sure. But other than that, very nice cheese to eat indeed. Like I said, I'm going to mature the rest of this for longer. See if that helps at any. I don't think it will, but I've got lots of room in the cheese fridge, so why not? I'll give Kim a piece and see if she likes it, and yeah, we'll go from there. But anyway, thanks for watching. If you want to buy the kit for this, the hard cheese kit would be the best, and you can go and check that out at littlegreenworkshops.com.au. Like I said, use a traditional cheddar recipe instead of the farmhouse cheddar one. Bit more salt, curd size bigger, and you should be good to go. And you'll get this lovely pattern, not as intricate as this, a bit bigger though, and a lovely flavour profile. Well, thanks for watching, curd nerds, and I'll see you next time.